Before we start today's mailbag, quick reminder to go ahead, click that share button down below, put it on social media, send it to a friend, help us grow the channel. But welcome on into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, answering questions that came in during our live show, which airs every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you have a question you'd like to ask next time, join us then. But we can jump into some of the questions that we got during our mailbag today. Ryan, first question. Will the Broncos make the playoffs? I am predicting pre-draft, and the draft can obviously influence this, 10-7. So 10-7, I think, is going to get you in. 10 wins, and you should feel pretty good about it, unless you're Seattle, because I don't think 10 wins got them in last season. Ryan, appreciate the question, though. Next one coming in. From Bradley, would you trade a 6th-round pick for Falcons running back Tyler Allgeier? Yes, I would. Tyler Allgeier was a 1,000-yard rusher as a rookie for the Falcons. Then Bijan comes along, and he sees a reduction in his role, but he still plays pretty well for the Dirty Birds the last 2 seasons as Bijan's understudy. For a 6th-round draft pick, I definitely roll the dice on Allgeier. I don't think we should look at Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin, and like Blake Watson as roster locks. With the way the running back room played last year, everyone's hair should be on fire at that position in Denver. I would do this deal, Bradley. Mason, honest question for Broncos country. Why is no one talking about getting a corner? Moss got hurt and was not good after, and when Moss was hurt, the depth was not good. Moss is good, but not a starter, in my opinion. Yeah, I disagree with you on that part there. Riley Moss was very good for a large portion of the year, and yes, he did miss 4 weeks with an injury, and sure, he wasn't fantastic afterwards, probably because he came back a little bit too early, and Denver really needed some help at that because they could not get anything out of the backups who took over. But I'm with you on Denver should add more corner depth, and I expect they will. In free agency still or the draft, I fully believe that there will be another cornerback, probably 2 minimum additions to be made. But I am going to push back on Riley Moss is not a starter. You should go after a new starting cornerback. No, Riley Moss was more or less a rookie last year since he barely saw the field at all his rookie season. And I think we're going to see him continue to grow and develop. And we can't just throw the towel in on guys when they have a bad 3 to 4 game stretch after a really good 10 to 12 game stretch. Mason, thank you for the question. Fravel edits. I personally love the McMillan pick. He's referencing Mel Kiper's mock draft. He's the best receiver in the class, in my opinion. Devon Vele is a solid depth receiver, but he's not a receiver too. Bo would cook with Sutton McMillan on the outside. The fun thing about receiver is they are the easiest position group to sell on anyone because all you got to do is say exactly what Fravel Edit said. It's like a Mad Lib. Insert quarterback, insert pre-existing receiver, insert rookie receiver, would cook. And no one's going to disagree because that looks like a lot of fun for sure. I don't think I'm trying to sell Vele as wide receiver 2. I think you're forgetting Marvin Mims. I thought he played outstanding the last third of the season. And I don't think McMillan is going to be that great of a receiver at the next level. So if they're going to pick one, I'd like it to be Matthew Golden from Texas. Aiden, what is your mock draft for the Broncos this year, and what do you think of Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee and Terrence Ferguson out of Oregon? I'll have a more precise mock draft probably at the beginning of April. That way all the dust from free agency is settled. But right now I think running back is a huge target for them with their first 2 selections. But if, let's say, Genty and Hampton go before 20, and a lot of people think those are the top 2 backs, then the Broncos are a wild card. They could look to trade back. Do they take a receiver just to add more, talent around Bo Nix? I think there's a real doomsday scenario where Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren, Omarion Hampton, and Colston Loveland go 1 through 19. And we're going to find out what Denver was plan D, E, F, or G is, which if it were up to me, it'd be one of the interior defensive linemen. This is a loaded DT class. As for Dylan Sampson, I think he's a very powerful back, but not just powerful. He's got good burst. He's got good long speed. He had 20-plus touchdowns for Tennessee last year. That's hard to do on accident, and he didn't get those touchdowns by just being like a Mike Tolbert goal line merchant. So I like Sampson out of Tennessee. I think he'd be a fun get in like round 3 or round 4. As for Ferguson, solid acquisition to pair him back with Bo Nix. I just don't know enough to go in depth on him like I do for Sampson. Senior Bronco. Any chance the Broncos trade for Travon Walker? Heard the Jags may be shopping him. I did see on Twitter, and I'm not going to say that the source is a very, very credible source. I think it originated with the Walter Football guy, and then it was picked up by Sleeper Jaguars, which is like the sleeper app for fantasy football. So do with that information what you will. But Walker is never going to live up to first overall pick expectations. But he's quietly been very good for the Jags. I mean, for starters, back-to-back 10-plus sack seasons. 2, the availability is outstanding. He's missed 2 games his entire 3-year NFL career thus far. So Walker may not be what you expect out of the first overall pick in the draft, but I think he's going to be a very good player in this league. I don't expect Denver to make the seismic move needed to obtain Walker. They've got 2 great edge rushers, and Bonito and Compton. Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper. Walker, you could argue, might be better than Cooper, but you just extended Cooper, and Bonito's cheaping on his rookie deal. You're really going to trade for Walker to push Bonito down the depth chart and then give up the draft capital required for Walker, which could have helped you elsewhere? I don't think this is a possibility for Denver. I'm not buying this stock right here. Senior Bronco, thank you for the question, though. Moving on to our next question. Michael, do you think we will trade for a running back? Unlikely. I would think it'd be borderline a bad idea. I like the Allgeier trade because it was a 6-rounder, but using serious draft capital to trade for a running back when it's a great running back class is just silly to me. Go get a rookie running back who's got 4, maybe 5 years on his rookie contract in front of you, and for way less than what you can find elsewhere. So I don't think Denver's going to trade for a back. I think they might still look to add a back in free agency. That back would likely be someone who's good in pass protection and as a receiver to alleviate some of those responsibilities from a rookie running back who does not really thrive in pass protection and receiving, because those are things that take a little bit of time for running backs to learn. Michael, thank you for your question, though. I really appreciate it. We got some super chats here. How do you feel about a double dip at running back, especially with the Ohio State duo? I'm not looking to pick up Judkins and Henderson and bring them over to Denver, but I am okay with the idea of double dipping at running back. It was that bad of a room last year. Javonte Williams led the Broncos in rushing yards. His performance last year was one of the worst leading rushing performances for a team in recent NFL history. Only worse was, I think, Rex Burkhardt from the Texans back in 2020. So I don't mind the overkill. Round 1 and round 4, right? Find 2 players that complement each other that have differences in their game style. But I don't hate the idea, Byron. Thank you for your super chat, by the way. Fravel edits, maybe just me, but Omarion Hampton feels a lot like Javonte Williams pre-injury. Let's say he is Javonte Williams pre-injury. We only got 1 year, rookie year. Was that a bad rookie season? There were plenty of flashes that rookie year. I know people are probably having higher expectations for the second rounder, but for a guy that split touches with Melvin Gordon, I thought he looked pretty good when his number was called. So I don't know if that's the insult you might think it is. But I do agree that I'd prefer Caleb Johnson from Iowa. He's my RB2 in this class. It goes Genty, Caleb Johnson, Omarion Hampton. Coach Chris, when the Broncos wake up, they piss excellence. Time to take back the AFC West. This draft is going to be epic. The options are endless. This draft's going to be a wild card. Picking at 20, doesn't matter what your needs are. You don't know what's going to come for you, right? You have no idea who's going to be available. With 19 teams picking in front of you, you can't put all your eggs in even one or two baskets. There's a real possibility Genty, Warren, Loveland, and Omarion Hampton, the top 2 running backs and top 2 tight ends, Denver's 2 biggest needs going into the offseason, are taken. And then you got to figure out what plan C is. D, E, wherever we are in the alphabet. And I think I said this earlier, I'd be on board with a defensive tackle. You brought back DJ Jones. He's still 30 years old. I think it'd be a good idea to bring in some youth at the interior spot on the defensive line. Chris, thank you so much for your super chat. Michael, think we draft a punter this year? Nah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. That's a tough bet to make for how uncommon it is. And there's no real punt god, right? You had Matt Araiza from San Diego State. Then you had Torrey Taylor from Iowa last year go to the Bears. I don't think there's a punt god in this draft class. So probably wait till after draft and sign one's a UDFA. Jacob, I might be late, but what's the update on Marvin Mims? Is there an update to be had? I mean, we're filming this right now Tuesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't know of any bad Marvin Mims news. You're freaking me out right now, Jacob. I got nothing for you. The update is he had a really good end of the year. Am I missing something here? Yeah, I got nothing for you, Jacob. Sorry. Sam, I need Justin Simmons back in my life. Will it happen? Probably not. I don't think Sean Payton is looking to hire. I don't think Sean Payton is looking to sign another pricey-ish veteran safety. That's just a position group that's not high up on teams' priority lists often. And it's important enough to invest $45 million for Hufanga. It's not important enough to invest $45 million in Hufanga, your pre-existing contract with Brandon Jones, and then tack on probably a 1-year, $7, $8, $9 million deal with Simmons. So I don't think Justin Simmons is coming back to Denver this offseason. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's mailbag. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe. That way you can be a part of the next mailbag and ask your questions.